Hello everyone. I hope you are well. Today we would be starting with our paper 2. Uh, at times I feel that the students say that paper 2 it's pretty difficult and one of the toughest assessments out of all the four assessments. I don't think so. In case if it is tackled pretty well, you can actually nail this paper 2. Definitely, I understand that the weightage of paper 2 is higher than the other assessment component. For SL, this is 45%, and for HL, this is 40%, right? So let's see today how we are going to cover this paper 2. I'll tell you one more thing that today I would be covering just the paper 2. What are the integral part of paper 2? How can we nail it? And how do we understand paper 2? Today I would be covering about this one. In further my videos, I would be recording one or two my live classes where I would be teaching to my students on the basis of particular question, and I would be writing the complete answer or majority of the points of that answer on the whiteboard. So that I would be covering. I'll be uploading that also on my channel. So let's get started today just to understand what all things are required in paper 2. Okay, so this is on my site glopo.info. Here you can see glopo.info, right? So this is what I have opened. The moment you open glopo.info, go to assessment, and under this assessment you see paper 2. The moment you will click on paper 2, you will be here. Okay, so let's get started with the basics. Now when I say basics, okay, let's start with the Looms pen tool this time. I'll be exploring with you this one. So in case if I feel this is not the good one, then I'll go back to the page marker. So now here what you see that, as I have already told to you, that the weightage of SL is 45%, and for HL this is 40%. This is the first thing, right? Then the second thing is, okay, after 15 seconds I think it gets deleted. Then duration, right? That is your time or the duration. For HL, this is 2 hour 45 minutes, and for SL, this is 1 hour 45 minutes. Fair enough. This is also clear to you. Okay. Then the third point. What is the third point over here? So the third point, that SL students would be writing 2 answers, HL students would be writing 3 answers. This is also clear. The third stage is also clear, that the SL students would be writing 2 answers, 2, all right, and the HL students would be writing 3 answers. Out of, would they get the same paper, SL or HL? Yes, both they will get the same paper, right? So how many questions would be there? There would be total 8 questions. How many units are there? Total 4 units are there, right? Total 4 units are there. So that means 1 unit will have 2 questions. So that means now we add everything here, which makes total 8 questions. So 2 questions from each unit. So far so clear? 2 questions from each unit. Total you will have 8 questions. Can you pick up 2 questions from the same unit? In case if I feel that I'm good at human right unit and I want to pick up 2 answers, I'm HL student, I want to pick up 2 questions from human right and 1 question from PSIR, right? Can I do that? No, I can't do that. So that means I have to pick up 1 question from each unit. All right, 1 question from each unit. This is applicable to SL, HL. How many questions HL would be picking up? 3 questions, right? So 3 questions means 1 question from each unit, right? And SL would be picking up 2 questions. So 1 question from each unit. No 2 questions from the same unit. So far so clear. This basic concept is clear. Now you might be wondering that as you have 2 hour 45-minute HL student, this is I think one of the lengthiest papers in IB. There is one more paper which is of 3 hours, but this is also considered as one of the lengthiest paper, and it becomes tricky in case if you have philo, psycho, and all these things, because at times you give philo paper and Glopo paper together. This time this is gonna happen. So we are in 22. So May 22, paper 2 in case if it takes place, then the philosophy, okay, philosophy and global politics, both they are going to be on the same date, which is 13th May, right? So don't worry, do a good practice, do a good exercise of your hands movement, right? And writing practice also will definitely help you, because you are going to write for 2 hour 45 minutes, and that is also non-stop. Why do I say non-stop? Because you approximately give 55 minutes to each answer, right? To each answer, this is what you are giving the time. So 55 minutes to each answer you are giving. And SL students, you give approximately 52.5 to 53 minutes, right? This much, or you can consider even the 54 minutes also. This much time you are giving to your answer. So this is for SL student, this is HL student, this much time you are giving. Do not tend to give so much time to your first answer, in case if you feel that out of 8 questions you know this particular question extremely well, and you want to give approximately 1 hour 30 minutes to this one, and you completely forgot to track on time. What will happen? The other answers would be jeopardized because of this one, right? You won't be able to cover the third answer. This is for HL student, the third answer, right? So it doesn't make any sense also, because each answer is carrying 25 marks. Each answer is carrying 25 marks. That means 25 plus 25, which is equal to 75 for HL. And what is for SL then? 25 plus 25 is equal to 50. This is for SL. Clear enough? So one answer is of 25 marks. So far so clear what I'm trying to understand. So approximately you are giving 55 minutes HL student, and SL student 52 minutes. You will have to write 2 answers SL students, and HL students you will have to write 3 answers for this one. So far so clear about the basics of your paper 2. Now let's go further about the words, okay? You may have this question, how many words am I supposed to write for this one? So I generally suggest to my student, write from 800 to 1200. What is the ideal word? For me, it's 1000 to 1200 words. In case if you are covering your answer in 800 words, that means somewhere you are missing on your analytical part, or you are not including all the perspectives properly. You are not evaluating or concluding it properly. So that means you need to include everything, and to include everything you require somewhere between 1000 to 1200 words. Fair enough. This one also. So this is what is the requirement of your answer. Nowhere it is written by IB that this much you are supposed to write, but this is what we generally tend to see on the answer. And being examiner, this is what I am also telling to you. So far so clear what we have covered. Now let's move further. Okay. Um, Expectations of the paper. Now what are the expectations of the paper? So I'll be covering everything together. So let me first just cover a few of the pointers from this one. I'm not going to read the complete paragraph over here. I'll tell you. Let me use this page marker for this one. Okay, one interesting thing over here which is written in this first sentence. So what it says, that do not consider that the question would be asked only from your unit, okay, the unit which is written at the top. How it would be written? PSIR, okay, two questions would be there, one or two. Then there would be big OR, then there would be question of human right, that means 3 or 4, then big OR, then development would be written, and so forth, right? 5, 6, then peace and conflict, 7, 8. Now you would see that the question is written under this unit. That means the questions would be from this unit only. Now it may happen that the question is inter-unit. Okay, inter-unit. That means this questions may have something which is commonly connected to development unit or to peace and conflict unit. Clear enough? So that means a question may be intra or inter. Okay, when I say inter question, that means not necessarily the question would be from PSIR unit, it can be from even human right or the development. So that means not necessarily that the question would be of human right but sitting under PSIR. No, one of the questions which has the key concept of power, but it is asking the impact of power or sovereignty on human right. So that means it has overarching concept which is of power or sovereignty and human right, or the concept of conflict on development. Wherever there is conflict which is taking place, development can be undermined. So what do you see over here? The concept of conflict which is under peace and conflict, but the concept of development which is different, right? So you see inter. Now what is this intra one? Intra one, it could be that purely this is from the same unit. So do not assume that you will get the question only which is based on PSIR and you have to apply the knowledge only of PSIR. No, I do not also teach to my students that see PSIR means that this is the four wall and this is how you are going to cover your topics. No, it is like overarching topics. In case if we are covering power, then the impact of power on human right, on development, on peace and conflict. So you are actually covering a wide range of concepts. You are not studying in silos where you are looking at the concept just from one angle, right? Or unidimensional. It should be multidimensional for this one. So far so clear. So please do not expect that the question, in case if you see on your question paper and then you wonder that why this question has been asked under PSIR, which is asking about even the impact of international relation on development or on peace treaties or all these things. So use your overarching knowledge over there. Clear enough? So do not keep your knowledge in silos where you are reading 1, 2, 3, 4 units in the square boxes. Clear enough? So this is about the topic which is mentioned over here. Now further you will see I would be covering all these things together. I'll just show you what I have written down. So general comments from the May 2019 subject report regarding paper 2. I would be updating this one later on, but in case if you are curious enough to know the subject report, then you can figure it out here. Now this is something important which I want you to read it. Okay, so I'll show you the path, but you have to walk down on your own. So what you have to read, in case if you want to be at the top mark band, okay, and if you want to decode those wording what the examiner is writing on your paper, then please try to understand all these things. So number one is examiner says that your answer is, or examiner is expecting you to write well structured balanced response that addresses the demands and implication of the question. So that means, now, what does that mean? Okay, I'm not going to explain this one because I want you to read this one. What do you mean by well structured? What do you mean by balanced response? Whether you have addressed the demand of the question properly or not. So these are some of the words. Don't worry. In just, I would be telling you everything what an examiner is looking in your answer. Then the second number is comprehensive knowledge and in-depth understanding of global politics is applied in the response consistently and effectively. So it should not happen that one paragraph was wow factor, the second paragraph was easy one, the third paragraph you were just completely off track. No. So you are writing the whole response consistently and effectively. Now remember this one, HL students, that you have to write three answer. So you should maintain that consistency and that efficiency throughout your three answers. It should not happen that in the first answer you have given just the wow factor over there, the second one is okay, and the third one you got so much tired, you did not do the practice during your mock exam or any time of your IB, and then you are writing 2 hour 45 minutes. After 2 hour your energy is completely drained and you could not attempt the third answer properly. That means you are losing on 25 marks, right? So your paper would be assessed only on the basis of 50 marks, though it is of 75 marks. Clear? Then okay, here it's the description. Then the response demonstrates a very good grasp of the key concept of the course. It may happen that sometimes the key concepts are not given in the question, though majority of the time it is given in the question, but it's okay in case if it is not given. You have to figure out the key concept. It may happen that there is just one key concept, you have to figure out the other key concepts also, that what are the implicit key concept in this one. Try to apply at least three key concepts in your answer. Fair enough, at least three key concepts in your answer. Now one point I would like to say over here, okay, so one point, that do not write what is the meaning of the key concept. Okay, cover it meaning of the key concept, cover it what is the implication of the key concept, what is the implication of the key concept in your answer. So in case if I'm writing somewhere about the human right, I'm not going to write the definition of the human right, but how human right fits into my answer, that I'm going to explain over here. Clear? That you need to have a good grasp on the key concept. One more thing I would like to talk about the question. When you get your question, you would see that there are two dependent variables. Okay, two dependent variables. So that means that you would get two things which are depending on each other. You need to figure it out, and then you need to focus on your attention on those two parts. In the class, when I would be teaching one question, what I generally do, so that time you would understand it better, that what I mean to say, or you just have a look at any of the past year questions, you will see that there are two parts of the question. One is dependent on the other variable, right? Variables, you understand this one. So dependent variables are there and you need to figure it out and you need to fix this one. Apart this one, what would be in the question? You would see command terms in the question, right? So as these are known as the essay type answer, that means the command terms would be analyze, explain, to what extent, how far, because it is demanding you to explore multiple perspective, multi-dimensional approach is required over there. It is asking you to write proper introduction, main body, and the conclusion, right? So command term would be there, but majority of these command terms, they have evaluation inbuilt part in it. Okay, or it is asking about the multiple perspectives, so you need to focus on that one. Key concept should be part of this one, theories should be part of this one, but remember that theories should not be the forceful used into your answer. No, you don't have to think that, oh, there is realism, there is liberalism, I have to use this one. No, if it is naturally coming on your way, use it, go ahead. Okay, in case if you want to use constructivism, or you want to use communitarianism, you want to use individualism, you want to use cultural relativism or universalism, good, go ahead. You want to use utilitarianism, perhaps this was not taught in the class, but somewhere you can fit it very well. Good, go ahead. Okay, so that means that theories, what are these theories or what are these think tank, the role of these people to support your argument. You being layman, probably examiner won't recognize your argument, but the moment you support your argument by giving the school of thought or by writing some author's name, theorist name, that means you are backing up your argument, right? So this is where you require all your theoretical knowledge. I talked about the key concepts. I talked about theories, all right. Key concept, you don't have to define key concept over here, but you have to use key concept or you have to imply the key concept. You have to talk about how key concepts playing an important role in this paragraph, okay? How do you connect this paragraph to the course content? Theories, you are supporting your argument by using theories, thinkers, all right. Then you are talking about the multiple perspectives. What are those multiple perspectives? Multiple perspectives, you may call it claim, counterclaim also, though this is not exactly the claim, counterclaim one, but not necessarily all the questions they demand claim and counterclaim. No, it may happen that some of the questions they are demanding multiple perspectives. So in case if a question is given to you and you feel that I can't figure out any counterclaim over here, but I can think about the different perspectives on the same point looking from different angles, fair enough, good, go ahead. Okay, not necessarily that you have to counter it, you bring the different perspective over here. So what you can do, either use the different perspectives, multiple perspectives, or use claim counterclaim mode. Okay, so in case if you say that the sovereignty is being eroded, you may not agree to this one, right? But not necessarily that you have to defy this point continuously. You have to write claim that yes, sovereignty is being eroded, and on the other hand you are writing it down that no, sovereignty is not eroded, it's still intact. So these are the two sides of the same coin. All right, so this is the next top mark bend sentence, and this is here I have decoded. All of the main points are justified, arguments are clear, coherent, and compelling. Counterclaims or different views on the question are explored and evaluated. I just explained this one to you. How to address a counterclaim in a way that strengthens your argument. So this is something what I have written down over here, that how can you use counterclaim? You can use these connectors to use your counterclaim. However, alternatively, despite this, on the other hand, an alternative to this, it must be admitted that it can be argued that all these connectors you can use this. Okay, now here you would be interesting to know, I have given all the sample papers, right? You can see all the sample papers over here. Another assist papers, practicing counterclaim, one more assist answer, and assist scaffolds on the sheet. Then there are more sample papers pasted over here along with the examiner's comment, right? So pretty resourceful site. You can see all these things. You can even see how the principal examiners are commenting on your answer. Now I go back to this and I cover a few important points, right? Let me open the whiteboard so that I can explain this one to you. Okay, it is taking time. I'm sorry, it's taking time. Okay, let's open our site only and let's write in this space clear. So one important thing which I wanted to discuss with you is the tool peel. Before I go to unpack this formula peel, I would like to talk about that how do you start, okay? The structure of your answer. So you are starting first with introduction. What is introduction? This is the number one thing. Introduction of your answer is something which can hook the examiner, hook the interest of the examiner, right? After reading your introduction, I should be interested to know further what you are writing it down. Number one point, okay? So number one point of the introduction is that this is the hook, okay? Hook means that you are writing interestingly about your answer. You are unpacking your answer properly, okay? Number two point, you are unpacking your your question properly in your introduction. Examiner, by reading your introduction, got to know that the candidate knows about the question, okay? The candidate has understood the what is the question, what is the demand of the question. So these are the two important point what you need to write it down, that what is the political issue, what is the main theme of the question, how are you unpacking this one. So this is kind of a glance of your complete answer, okay? This is just giving a glance to the examiner that okay, I have understood the question and this is what I'm supposed to write in my answer. So these are the two important things. So introduction carries that what you have understood out of the question. Now further, the moment you have written down your introduction, I move to the main body, right? The main body of your paper 2. Now in this main body, I give you a formula P E E L. All right. P means point. You may call it point, you may call it thesis also, okay? You make a kind of argument over here, okay, which is connected to your question. Remember, which is connected to your question. What kind of argument you are making? It could be your claim, whether you agree to the question. You may start even with the disagreement also. It's completely your choice. Usually we start first with the agreement and then in the second paragraph we move to the counterclaim or the disagreement or to the different perspective in case if we do not want to explore claim and the counterclaim. So this first point is your point or the thesis, okay? This point or thesis usually we build on the basis of the key concept, okay? We are using the key concept or we are using the related concept. What is the difference between the key concept or the related concept? The key concepts are of the 16 and the related concept could be those important concepts which are not falling under key concept, but we are calling them as the jargon of global politics, as the jargon of global politics, okay? What it could be? So if I use somewhere nationalism, if I use somewhere state, if I use non-state actors, okay? So all these terms which I have used, okay? So but they are not the part of those 16 key concepts. I'm calling them the related concept. So when you are making your P point or the thesis, you may use the key concept or the related concept, or you may begin even with the theory also, okay? Then E, example. You are giving an example to support this point. Now, in case if you give any example and you do not elaborate or explain this one, then it doesn't make any sense. And examiner may say that you have just signposted your example, but you did not go into detail of this one. So you need to explain, okay? You need to explain this example. Now remember that when you are writing your explanation of the example, that means you do not require to go into detail of the case study. So this is something very interesting, that when you are studying the case studies under global politics, not necessarily you have to go too much into detail of the case study, too much into the history of the case study. You need to just understand what the gist of this issue all about and how many perspectives can I see. Am I exploring the different perspective of that political issue or not? So this is what the little explanation of this one. It could be of 3-4 sentences also. This could be point, could be of 2-3 sentences. Example could be of 2 sentences. This could be of 3 sentences. And then link. Link to what? Whether you are able to link this one to the main question or not, okay? Then link where? Linking to the next paragraph or not, all right? Whether you are able to link it back to your main point or not. This link will show you whether you are on the track or not. Linking means that you are concluding. So this is like a mini answer, right? Where you are writing two sentences of introduction, example, explanation, and then the conclusion, which is linking back to your point, to the next paragraph, and to the question also, right? This is simple. Do not take it in a tricky sense, because when you will start understanding this one, this would be fun for you, because everything is so systematized. In case if your thought is so structured, you will start enjoying writing your answer. Okay, it might be a bit difficult task initially, when you are thinking, when you are channelizing your thoughts, your thought pattern. That time it may take bit time, but after that it would be a cakewalk for you. So short-term pain, long-term gain for this one. So all right, so this is your peel. How many times can you repeat this peel? Usually I tell to my student that at least 4 paragraphs you need to write it down. So one is peel. All right, then the second paragraph again peel, the third paragraph again peel, and the fourth paragraph. Why am I asking you to write 4 paragraph? Because in case if you are picking up the pattern of claim, counterclaim, claim, counterclaim, that means that you are total writing 2 sets of claim or counterclaim, or 2 paragraph. In case if you do not want to pick up claim, counterclaim, claim, counterclaim, then you may write it down claim, claim, counterclaim, counterclaim. This is also acceptable. In case if you don't have too many counterclaim, you may pick up claim, 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 and counterclaim. In case if you feel these are the different versions, guys, it may be a bit confusing, so hold on, pause it, understand it properly, because there is no fixed pattern. I'm not giving you any fixed pattern, because I have been awarding marks even for this pattern, for this pattern, for this pattern. All right, so there is no fixed rule. Being an examiner, I'm sharing all these my experiences. Wherever I feel that okay, the candidate has aligned its answer properly to the question, in whichever format it is coming, it's completely all right. What I'm just looking critical thinker, whether the candidate is a critical thinker or not, whether the candidate is looking at the political issue from one angle or from multidimensional point of view. Another way could be that you do not want to get into this claim counterclaim because you do not see any counterclaim on that question. You can write down perspective 1, 2, and only the third perspective. Okay, different perspectives, you can even write it down. In case if you feel that you have multiple examples, can you use multiple examples over here? Definitely you can run the parallel examples also. But remember that in case if you are writing just one claim and one counter claim, or just the 2 claims, then this is not sufficient. You are not going to get good marks for this one, because you have not explored the other perspective. You have not explored the critical thinking zone, right? So this is what you need to do. And one tip for you: the more you write, the more you fetch your marks. The more number of examples you are using over here, different examples, all right, you are fetching more marks. You may have this question: can I use just one example throughout my these 4 paragraphs? So yes, you can use, because it depends on the case study. For example, if I give you the case study of European Union, then you can use as the claim, you can use even as the counter claim also for this one, right? You can use that one, but I don't think so that you would be able to sustain for 4 paragraphs. At least for 2 paragraphs you can use European Union as the claim counter claim under that question, but it all depends on the demand of the question. Clear? The main body, it's completely your choice how you are going to use it. The examiner is looking whether you are critical thinker or not. That's it. Okay, minimum 4 paragraphs I'm asking you to write it down, or even maximum 3 also sufficient for this one, but you are exploring it from different angles. Now then you have the conclusion part, right? Conclusion, it's very simple. Now you write about the impact of your answer at the global level. You conclude it by giving any kind of solution. All right, you connect it back to the question and you write everything in the gist format, okay, in 2 to 3 sentences, that what was the main argument what you have put forth. So this is your conclusion, which is very easy. I hope you are understanding this one, what I'm asking for the complete answer. I'll repeat it. Introduction, this is creating hook, right? So that means you are writing some interesting thing which you are letting examiner know that you have understood the question, and this is what the political issue all about, and this is how the key concepts are connected to this one, and this is the summary of your answer, what the examiner is going to look forward further. So this is your introduction. Then you move to the Peel methodology, which is known as P point, E example, E explanation, and L link. Link is pretty crucial. Link will tell you whether you are on the track or not. So link is something which is connecting to your point, which is connecting to your question also, which is connecting to the next paragraph. Do not get intimidated that, oh my God, link is connecting too much to different angle. No, link is just telling you that yes, you are reading your point consistently, you know your question, and you know what you are going to write in the next paragraph. It could be of just 2 sentences, but link is just telling you whether you are on the track or not. Because in such essay type answer, after 800 words or even after 700 words, what happened that you deviate, right? You feel that you are writing or you are addressing the question, but at times you deviate and you start writing something else, right? So don't do that. Make a proper planning, make an outline. You can give at least 3 4 minutes to think about the outline, but be very quick because time is running out of your hand. You have to complete 3 answers or 2 answers as students, so you need to think about all these things pretty quickly. Then you have the conclusion. It's very simple. It could be in the evaluation form also. What do you mean by evaluation? Where you are discussing about the pros and the cons of the demand of the question, of the political issue. Okay, you are highlighting some of the pointers which you feel that these are very important. You are writing about the implication of that question at the broader level, right? So these all are the part of this one. Do not forget to use the key concept, different perspectives. If theories can be used over there, right? There would be the dependent variable. So figure it out that what the demand of the question. So suppose I say, or I gave you this example of sovereignty also, sovereignty being eroded. So that means sovereignty is there. What is happening with sovereignty? That it's getting eroded. Erosion is taking place. Why erosion is taking place? There are the multiple factors. It could be because of the globalization. It could be because of the different factor, liberalism and everything, right? These are interconnected. I have already given this on my slide, and I would be taking this topic also further. So you have to figure out that what are those 2 variables over there, what I can think of. I hope you understood that how to tackle paper 2. What is the best way to get hold on this paper? To practice is the thing which will help you to excel on your paper 2. Start writing. In case if you feel that you are getting bored, you do not want to write one complete answer, at least start making outline of your answer. Okay, show it to someone who can just guide you that okay, it sounds good in your introduction, in your main body or the conclusion. So write a number of the questions till you understand properly what is the demand of the question. Even if you understand the structure of paper 2, no one can stop you scoring somewhere around grade 4 or 5, because 5 it says that the candidate has written down the introduction properly, there is claim, counterclaim, there is conclusion, okay, and the candidate is understanding the question also. The real game starts when it goes for grade 6 and 7, especially 7, when you are giving wonderful arguments consistently in your answer and across your answers also. Fair enough? So I hope you like this video and it can be of useful to you. try to write your answer. This is where you will fetch maximum marks in case if you are doing proper practice. So do that, and I would be uploading more paper to videos along with my class. All right, so have a safe day and stay safe. See you next time.